What's up, guys and gals? It's Jack. Today I'm going to show you guys my cold Demon Hunter build. Let's jump right into it. I'm running with an Atreyu, 10% re-rolled with a crit hit damage gem, and then I almost rolled perfect on my cold damage. Unfortunately I didn't, but it's pretty dang close. Then I'm running Stone of Jordan with almost again perfect cold damage. Dexterity, I chose that because of armor. I need more armor. And then, of course, the increased elite damage. And then we're running the Marauder Gloves, trifecta. Wish I had perfect dexterity, but unfortunately we can't all get that perfect. And then I'm running Augilds right now because I don't have Tasker and Theos, as you can see. I think it's the next best decision when it comes to armor and elite damage and things like that. Then we're running the straight Marauder 6-piece, of course, standard cluster arrow damage on the boots, and then we got I decided to go all res instead of armor on the pants, and then Sentry damage on the chest, and then as well I'm doing crit hit chance on the helm. I'm trying to farm up like crazy right now the Hellfire Amulet, but I've gotten a few that were okay. They just didn't roll sockets or anything like that, so I had to trash them. Then of course the second piece to the Aughild search, or the Aughild set, sorry, with the again almost perfect cold damage, along with crit hit chance and dexterity. I want to show you guys some real quick. When I do get the Tasker and Theos, I'm gonna roll with the Slave Bonds most likely, and then run with Nemesis Bracers as well for the shrines and things like that. And then once I get everything back, I'm gonna run the Marauder Spines again in place of the Aughild set, and I think it'll be a really good combination with the Tasker and Theos. I should be critting for around 80 to 90 mil. Other than that, and then continuing, I'm running the Harringtons right now. I know the Witching Hour is the best, but unfortunately I haven't ran into one yet. I haven't really gambled with Kadala at all with the Witching Hour because I heard it's really hard to get from Kadala, and I unfortunately haven't found any on pickups. So I've just been running with the Harringtons. It's been treating me nice, especially in T6 rifts. And then of course the Royal Ring of Grandeur. The Ring of Royal Grandeur, and I'm rolling with attack speed and crit hit damage on it with a socket, with the Enforcer gem, and then the Bane of Trap gem, and then the Bane of Powerful. And then last but not least, I'm running the Bombardier's Rucksack, of course, Sentry damage, crit hit chance, attack speed increase. I wish I could get the Vitality off for something better, but it's what I have to use right now because I haven't found anything better. I found a couple other rucksacks, but they weren't even coming close to it, so I'm running with that right now. Alright, as far as, actually let me show you guys my stats. So I'm running with 33% increased, 1.86 total, 50.8% crit hit chance, and then 420% crit hit damage. I wish I could get the crit hit damage a little bit higher. Unfortunately, with the I have to sacrifice, since I have a SOJ, I have to sacrifice the crit hit damage and crit hit chance on that. And that would be a lot higher if I had that, but unfortunately, I prefer the increased damage against elites and the cold damage, because that's far, far better than stacking that crit hit damage. And then, I don't have that much cooldown reduction, but you'll notice when I pop off my sentries, it makes it about a second less. So it makes it about 5 seconds total. I think it's worth it rather than a life gem in there. And then my cold damage overall is 74%, with cluster arrow is 13%, and then 41% sentry damage. So I'm sitting pretty good. My resist aren't that great except for fire and arcane. I wish they would be a little bit better. Armor's alright. And then these are the rest of the stats. You guys can take a look at them. By no means this is the this is not the greatest items or anything like that. I haven't perfected my gear yet, but I'm getting there. It takes a while. And so let's jump right into the skills. So I'm running Frost Arrow with, Element Arrow with Frost Arrow, and then I'm running Cluster Arrow with Maelstrom with the stack from the ballistics and the rockets, 900%. It's pretty amazing, critting for like 80 to 100 mil with that on elites. And then for the companion, Wolf Companion, obvious choice for the extra damage with especially when you're in groups. And then Sentry, I would go with the Spitfire Sentry. You can go with it, but I don't hit the proper breaking points without the Tasker and Theo, so I decided to go with Polar Station, because then I can stay far back away from the enemies. And you guys see why when I make gameplay, but I can stay farther back from the enemies and just cast it right on top of them, and it does a massive amount of damage. I'll switch to Spitfire as soon as I get the Tasker and Theos. And then I'm running multi-shot with Arsenal, just due to the rockets. I would do Burst Fire, but it does a lot of damage, but not anywhere near the rockets, the 3 rockets that it spits out. And then for the last skill, I'm using Vault with Tumble. You could use Smoke Screen with probably Lingering Fog or Healing Vapors, but that's good for Greater Rifts past level 40. But I'm doing T6 Rifts right now, so this is the best thing to get by. And then of course I'm running Ballistics, Steady Aim for the increased damage, Call of the Week for the increased damage, and then Awareness just in case that T6 Elite gets me by surprise. I'll be using that. So yeah, that's pretty much all my skills and gear and everything, guys. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some T6 Rift gameplay, show you what kind of damage I'm producing and the output I can get out of everything. So let's run through this real quick. Alright, we got a Goblin here. So as you can see, I'm not critting that high right now. Alright, sweet, we got a Legendary. I'm not critting that high right now, guys. Once you see me hitting elites, you'll see the real damage. I know it's hard to tell because you can't really tell where the rockets are critting for and whatnot, but you'll see when you see the big crits, that's my rockets that are produced from the ballistics passive. I wish we had. Oh, here we go. Here's an elite. What's the passives? Alright. So as you can see, 100, 99 mil, 100 mil. I can get all the way up to another legendary. I can get all the way up to pretty much close to 120 mil on crits on the elites just because of the increased late damage. Alright. I forgot my Nemesis braces this time, guys, so I know I'm a noob, but there's that. Let's see here. What else we got? As you can see, this isn't the greatest density in this rift. I could be doing a lot better than this, but for right now, it's managing. This is pretty much a greater rift density right here. Let's see. And by far, I love the Atreyu bow. I think it's best in class, even past the Calamity and things like that, because that bonus cold damage is just crazy. And the equivalents to all the other, like fire damage, I forget what the other bows are called that have fire damage and lightning damage and things like that, but those are by far the best in class too, I think. You just can't beat the extra elemental damage. So 92 mil, as you guys can see there. It's probably one of the best builds. I know other people run like physical cold and things like that, but I don't even think it comes close to this. Alright, another legendary. just because you don't get all the elemental damage when you do builds like that, and I don't think other people think that elemental damage is that important when it can increase your raw damage by like 100%, which of course then you have to consider taking that damage and increasing it through your critical hit damage. That's when the big numbers come out. And then of course when you have increased elite damage and all those good things, it just makes for a really good combination. So as you can see, this is the parts where I like awareness, because I don't have an immune to arcane gem or anything like that. So for right now, this is where that comes to another elite. See if I can get up close so you guys can see the damage that I'm producing here. So there's awareness that just popped off. I was just being really careless right there, so that's why that happened. For right now, I'm going to run the Demon Hunter, mostly, just because it's my main character. I want to gear up other characters. You guys should let me know if you want me to do other builds with other characters. It might take me a while, because it takes a lot of time to build other characters up, their gear and everything, so it might take a while, but I can get there. If you guys request it, I'll do it. Another thing I can do for you guys, if you would like, is like speed runs, greater rifts, show how this build performs in greater rifts, things like that. I can do power leveling guides. Just request what you guys would like me to see me do, and I'll go ahead and make a video for it. So I just procced my Harrington's waist guard right there. You'll see big numbers. I've critted to the 300 mils when I have Harrington's up with against elites. It's pretty crazy. So as you can see, he's almost down. It's a really good build, and I got another legendary there. Let's collect all this stuff and report back to town. So I just wanted to show you guys the overall performance of that build. It's my favorite so far in the game. I know there's other great builds like the Hammered-in build from the Crusader, or the shotgun build, or things like that. I know there's other great builds, or the pet build for the Witch Doctor, but for right now, I think this is the best overall build when it comes to elites and crowd control and things like that. I think this still trumps everything else in the current state of Diablo 3. So for future content, let me know what you guys want to see, whether it's power leveling, guides, other characters, things like that. Just let me know, and I will go ahead and see if I can do that for you guys, produce that content. And as always, guys, stay gaming. Yeah.